The government is reviewing schools' admissions policy. There are fears that children who are born in the summer months are actually falling behind in the classroom.
Well, they are, and they're taking it seriously because the Schools Minister, Nick Gibbs, says he is concerned enough to the reforms, to the guidance that was given last year, because he says he doesn't think, actually, it's reduced the number of contentious cases. New research has found that August-born children who are obviously the youngest in their year then, are 3.5 times more likely than children born in September to fall behind in reading, writing and maths.
They also found that they're twice as likely to be unhappy and be bullied by the age of 7, and that they're more likely to have lower confidence even as they get older, confidence in their academic ability even as teenagers.
Yeah, I can concur with that, being an August baby myself. But let's talk now to Rosie Dutton, whose daughter will be starting reception. She's going to be 5, isn't she, Rosie, quite soon? And you've been campaigning a lot and you fought your local council over this, haven't you? Just tell us a bit about how confident you now feel about Rosie about your daughter going into school a year later.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I wouldn't describe it as a year later. She's technically starting school at the legal school starting age, and is allowed to go into reception. And unfortunately, that's not the case for other summer-born children. Hence the reason why Nick Gibbs has called a review, and hopefully he will stop the summer-born scandal of children being forced to miss a year of education for starting school at compulsory school age. And you know, there needs to be a change to the school admissions code so that all children, if their parents request it, get the same opportunity as Olivia and can start in reception at age 5 without missing a year. And she's so much more ready to go to school this year than she was last September. She's grown hugely, socially and emotionally, and she's really excited about going now this September.
Interesting, though, isn't it? We've had lots of response, Rosie, from people having comments on this. Lisa says, my girl started school at just 4. She's not behind at all. If anything, she's in front and always has been. Every child is different. And I guess if you work on that policy, that every child is different, parents could be picking or choosing and saying, oh, my child was actually born in March, but they don't seem ready. It could become chaos, you might argue.
To be honest, the flexibility already exists. Children born from the 1st of April to the 31st of August can already start their children a year later. And, you know, that's been a case for a while. And, you know, like that commenter has said, flexibility is key here, and it's about giving the parents the choice. And, you know, parents know their children best. And if a parent decides to wait that extra year to send their child to school, they shouldn't be penalised and made to miss a year because of that. And this really is about choice, and some summer-born children do go to school at age 4 and they do thrive and do really, really well. Unfortunately, a lot of summer-born children don't, and the research you've just spoken about proves that.
And it's interesting, you know, because I'm interested to know what your concerns were, because it sounds like you were more concerned about her emotional, social well-being as opposed to her academic well-being, if you know, because, you know, I was a summer baby, didn't do brilliantly well academically, but I've done all right, you know. But actually it was your self-esteem that was, your academic self-esteem, your sense of yourself in comparison to the children who were, you know, almost a year older than you, that can actually be a lifelong thing, can't it? It can impact your view of yourself.
It can, yeah, and you know, there is a lot of research out there that, you know, they do say it does even out over time, but it doesn't. There's still a huge gap later on in life, and you know, it's understandable. A child starting school who was born in September has been alive for a whole year more than, you know, an August born, and a year at that age is a massive, massive difference. And I think a lot of children who are, you know, are forced to enrol into school early at the moment because they're threatened with a year 1 start only. Their parents know their child is not ready at age 4, and they're being pushed into the system when they're really not ready, and that, you know, that takes away precious teaching time. Teachers are already really, really stretched and have got a hard job, and they do an amazing job. But if parents were allowed to decide when their children go to school, it would make it easier for teachers, for the other children in the classroom, because, you know, there's going to be more children ready for school than there ever was before. And hopefully now Nick Gibb will be the minister that resolves this issue and puts an end to children missing a year.
Yeah, good luck to you and good luck to Olivia.
Thank you so much.
Nice to talk to you this morning. Loads of people saying some of the things. Alice says, being a late baby in August, I completely agree. I struggled all the way through school. It had an obvious effect on my GCSEs. Lisa said my girls started... Oh, you said that one, haven't you? Lisa said her daughter started at 4 and is absolutely fine in school.
That's a good one, definitely. I don't agree that she's not halfway through the year. I still remember my first day at school, which was halfway through the year, as an August baby, born in 1969. They're not actually saying that, though. They're saying we'll come back a whole year. It struck me, as well, with Billy, that we were looking at some pictures of him at 8 weeks old, and my friend's baby was walking, little boy was walking at the time, and he was an October baby, and they're both in the same school year. So he was, like, lying, still not able to support his own head, and already the sewing percentage of walking, and that development might get a little bit smaller, but it stays, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's how it makes you feel. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? So we'll see whether this review brings up any new guidelines.